having the right type of diet. I mean, everything has to matter to us.
What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we got to talk more about Zion Williamson and the message that CJ McCollum sent to him. And I guess, well, it's not the exit interviews, but it was the play-in post-game interviews, and he said something about Zion that definitely needs to change soon. You know, I've watched Zion for years, man. Seen Zion play in high school. Saw him get injured a lot. Zion's always made explosive plays, off the floor, but at his size, over a lengthy season, it wasn't sustainable. I mean, he couldn't stay healthy in high school. Only played a few games at Duke. Got to the NBA more of the same. And as you age, that weight, getting back in and playing shape doesn't happen as easy. And Zion, he has a game based around, he likes to play on the perimeter, dribble, in and out dribbles, a lot of movements on that big frame to shift left to right. Vertically, he jumps well above the rim and he plays so high above the rim that when he comes down, that's a lot of shock on the body throughout a game. And 82 games, that's asking a lot for someone with his frame, with his style of play. CJ McCollum has some interesting things to say. Also, Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins. Check out what they had to say, and I'll be back with my comment.
Last offseason, you signed an extension that said you wanted to lay a foundation here in New Orleans with so much of the core in place under contract. Other than injury, of course, what do you guys have to do to take that next step next season?
It's hard to say what we need to do other than injury because we played 10 games together with our core. So I would say availability is important, man. We got to be available. We got to do what we need to do, off the court in terms of preparation, in terms of getting treatment, in terms of getting the right sleep, the right type of hydration, having the right type of diet. I mean, everything has to matter to us for everybody, 1 through 15. This is a job that is a performance-driven job, right? Where, you play at night. Tonight we played a 9 o'clock game. That's mad late, right? Like, how are you preparing for a 9 o'clock game? Like, what is your regimen like? What's your schedule like? Consistently doing the small stuff, I think, will be very important for us as a team, especially for our younger guys. Understanding that you have to get a routine that's consistent and it builds consistent success. So I would say that's the first thing that we need to do as a team in order to be able to play consistently together with everybody. If we don't do that, then I'll never have a real answer for you as to what we can accomplish because we won't be able to see it.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Comments.
Don't like him. His first year, 2019, 2020, COVID, all of that stuff. Played 24 out of a possible 72 games that season, I remember. Next season, he played 61. Missed all of last season.
Out of 72.
Out of 72, yes.
Second season.
That's right, yeah. Missed 61. Missed all of last season. Just played 29 games this year. You can't make a statement like, when I feel like a Zion. Well, players taught us a long time ago, we never feel like we're 100%. Sometimes we never feel like our fresh, completely healthy selves. He's got to get together and he's got to find a way to get back on the court.
And when you're dealing with a hamstring injury, okay, because I dealt with one, it doesn't take that damn long to come back. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you first get injured, two things are going to happen. First thing is they're going to tell you what's the plan, your recovery, your treatment, all that. The second thing that they're going to talk to you about is your nutrition. The word trust comes into play. And if I'm in the front office of the New Orleans Pelicans, do I trust this guy to be my franchise player? Do I trust him that I could give him the keys to my car to drive it? And the answer is no.
So, man, when you look at Zion, missing that amount of games in his first 4 seasons, he's clearly just not your answer, man. You can't go forward with Zion Williamson, and I felt like signing him, I felt like it was crazy to do even this summer. When someone shows you who they are, you have to believe them. And Zion is as young as he was ever going to be. Like, you remember there was questions even with Steph. Even Steph Curry, as great as he became, wasn't he on a 4-year, $40 million contract, making $10 million a year during, Golden State when they started becoming a dynasty? He was making that for a while. Remember, Steph didn't get his big payday, I think, till after KD came along. So, yeah, man, there's no way I could have paid Zion because he's healthy. He's as young as he was ever going to get, and he wasn't playing that many games. How many times in NBA history have we seen a young player that gets hurt a lot play more the older they get? And let's take that a step further. Considering everything I just said, what about how many of those players had weight issues? See, that number gets significantly smaller if you could think of any. When you start thinking about guys that had weight problems and, they start having problems with their lower extremities, man, it's hard to bounce back from that. I always said Zion needs to get in shape inside of a pool. It doesn't need to be. I saw he was training outside on the football field with the last guy to meet the criteria, with the last trainer to meet the criteria that they laid out in his contract. But I feel like he has to get his weight off in the pool, low impact, because he's so injury prone, man. And he's been injured so many times dating back to high school, and he plays with reckless abandon. He'll go and try to block a shot maybe he shouldn't try to block, or he lands. Think about how D Wade used to land on his frame and how it slowed him down probably a little sooner than he should have been starting to slow down. You know what I'm saying? Now, D Wade had a Hall of Fame career, played long enough and everything. Don't get me wrong, but so I'm just thinking about some of those spills he used to take early in his career. Zion was taking those in high school, college, taking those at different times. There's one block that stands out in high school where he almost breaks his neck. Like he jumps and he falls flat on his back after he takes it off the glass. I would have been willing to let someone else take Zion Williamson. If they could have traded me a couple of lottery picks or whatever, I would have took it, before I signed him, to be honest with you, if I was the Pelicans, man, because you see what it is at this point, and they had enough of a sample size to make a great decision. Now, I heard his contract is more structured like a football contract, which gives them some leeway with how much they're going to pay him, but I would have just been ready to part ways with him, because when you have someone like that on your team and you're paying them a max contract, you've kind of built around them and you can't move forward. It would have been nice to have more pieces around Ingram, more pieces around Trey Murphy, CJ, all those guys, rather than keeping Zion Williamson and trying to hold on to him a little too long. But, man, I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments, though. What you think about CJ comments about his diet. I agree with CJ 100%. The only person he could be talking to is Zion. As far as your diet, preparation, what you do off the floor. I mean, we literally see everybody else. He's obviously not talking to Jose Alvarado. He has a legit injury. But diet, preparation, all that stuff was aimed at Zion. It's clearly not Brandon Ingram, clearly not Trey Murphy, clearly not Herb Jones. Who is he talking to? Not, what's my man name? Not Vucevic, but Valanciunas is not Valanciunas. Zion, man, I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's correctable, because you can't undo these injuries, and he is what he is. We see he's already put back on some of the weight when he was dunking in the pregame. So, man, I want to know your thoughts about Zion Williamson. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.
Thank you.